Hello, my beautiful and shredded scholars. Thank you for joining me. My name is David Shear, and it is a pleasure to have you here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build a pull-up bar. We're also going to add on a dip station, and I think you will love it. Let's get to it. Here are our materials. We've got concrete. We've got a basin to mix it in. Then we've got 2 of these 1-inch by 3-foot galvanized steel pipes that are threaded. We've got 1 3/4-inch by 4-foot galvanized steel pipe that is also threaded. We've got a drill. We've got these exterior screws. These are coated deck screws, 2.5 inches long. These 4x4s, we have 3 4x4 by 8-foot beams. We have 2 4x4 by 12-foot beams. We have a post hole digger, a level, 2 3/4-inch flanges for the pull-up bar, and 4 1-inch flanges for the dip station. Now, we're going to dig the holes, pre-assemble the pull-up bar, lift it up into place, pour our concrete, let it dry, then we can begin to work on the dip station. The first step is measuring where exactly we're going to dig. So you'll notice I've got this 4-foot pipe, which is the 3/4-inch diameter for the pull-up bar, and I've laid it out on the ground. Now I'm gonna dig on either side because that is where our posts are going to be. This is an easy way of just figuring out exactly where you need to start and focus your efforts. Here's what happened. We started digging, and 3 feet down, I hit water. So rather than getting water from the house, I'm going to put the post down in there, pour the concrete mix in there with the water. And I know some of you are like, what if it doesn't dry and cure properly? We just had a ton of rain, and it's not gonna rain for the next week. So it's not a normal occurrence that there's so much water in the ground. So I'm gonna take advantage of that and save myself the effort. As you can see, I've got the 4x4 by 12s laid out behind me, each in front of their respective hole. And I've got my 4-foot pipe right here. What I'm gonna do is I am going to assemble the pipe up top. I'm going to then lean the posts up and slide them down into the pole simultaneously so that they stay together. If you do one post and then another post, they can be slightly off and not perfectly square. So I'm just connecting the bar beforehand to ensure that it's an easy process when it comes to standing it up. Okay, as you'll see, I've got the first piece laid out, and I've gotten my foot-long ruler here so that I am a foot from the end. This right here is 11 feet from the base, and we're 3 feet down. So that's gonna give me an 8-foot height from the ground to the bar. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and just make sure they're all tight. Now we're gonna go ahead and back these out. That way we have our holes marked. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my 3/4 inch pipe, take off my cover, and I'm going to thread it in. Now what you'll notice is this is reverse threaded. So the other side is going to thread the opposite direction, meaning the bar won't spin in place since it is threaded. We're gonna go backwards first to line up our threads, then go forward. And I'm gonna tighten that thing down as much as I possibly can. There it is. Now I'm gonna put the other end on here before leaning it down and drilling it into the other beam. So the reason for this is if I were to just keep that screwed in, I wouldn't be able to turn the bar and tighten this flange insert. Now we've got both 4x4x12s attached with flanges to this 3/4 inch by 4 foot metal bar. What I'm gonna do next is pick these up and put them into the hole with the concrete. With my level, I'm going to ensure that it is both plumb on this side and this side on both beams before I go ahead and put my brace on. Now, it's very important that you brace it. You can get away without bracing it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to brace it since I have a little spare wood. But if you dig the holes properly, it shouldn't be an issue. Now, I dug these holes 3 feet deep and filled them all the way, well, 30 inches with concrete. So what I'm gonna do now is get my brace. This is just gonna keep it from moving, really. Anyways, check it again. And you can adjust the brace as needed to ensure that you get a nice flat piece of wood. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna brace this side as well. That should keep it from going anywhere. Just hold it still till the concrete dries, and then it should be good.
The next day.
Yesterday I dug 3 separate holes for the dip station. I'm gonna have parallel bars right here. I've got my materials laid out. As you can see, I've got my 4x4s. I've got 3 separate bags of Quikrete. They're 80 pounds each, so 240 pounds of Quikrete. I also brought out my laser level. It's not absolutely necessary, but it will ensure that my bars are the same height. I'm gonna start with this post over here, and I'm gonna ensure that it is lined up perfectly with the post that's supporting the pull-up bar, because that's where I'm gonna start. And then from there, I'm going to mirror that in a parallel way so that I have perfectly parallel and even bars. So for this build, we're not putting the bar on first, we're gonna do the bar after to ensure that it is exactly the same height as this bar over here. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're picking the height of the bar, you want it to be where you can get up easy, but also dismount easy. And if you want to complete a full repetition on dips, you need to give yourself enough room so that when you're at that bottom position, your feet aren't touching the ground. So I'm going to put the bar up about shoulder level. And I'll use something like a cinder block to help me get up onto the bar for my setup before each set. And I would recommend that. Make it higher than you need, because you can always add a stool or something to get up. You just don't want to touch the ground on your exercises. As you can see, I've now got my pre-assembled bar that I'm gonna use for the dip station. This is the 1-inch diameter by 3 foot. I've got it attached to both flanges, and I'm gonna set it where I want. Now, ideally, I want it about shoulder height, pretty much at the top of the post. However, to ensure that it's the same height here as it is here, I'm going to use my laser level. So. Thread this. I had a little bit of a hard time leveling it off. As you can see, it doesn't look amazing, but it is level, and that to me is more important than it looking beautiful. As long as it works, we're good. So now I'm gonna do the same height over on this side, and I can look at the level here and I can look at the level there and see exactly where I need to put this flange. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to screw this into the flange on my post. Giving myself enough room here. Get it as tight as I can. That's good there. All right, now I'm gonna turn my level to hit this post. I would recommend giving it at least a couple of days before you use it. Let the concrete cure. If it's cold, give it more time. If it's wet, give it more time. If it's hot out, you could use it within 24 hours. I would still give it 48, but since it's wet and it's cold, I'm gonna give it about 3 days before I consider using it.
3 days later.
It's now been 3 days since we poured the concrete for the pull-up bar and 2 days since we poured the concrete for the dip station. So I'm out here this morning. Finally, I feel comfortable that the concrete is set and that I can use this without disrupting any of the curing. So these posts, I mean, they're solid. I've got my weight belt here, about to do some pull-ups. Here we got 45 pounds on the bar. Put these little cinder blocks to help me get up there. Haven't really leveled them off. As you can see, they're kind of jiggly, but it'll be all right. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cost of this build up on the screen so you can see exactly how much I spent. If you consider in the amount of time that you spend going to and from the gym each and every day, it's well worth it. My gym is 15 minutes away from me. 15 minutes in the car there, 15 minutes back. That's a 30-minute round trip. If I go to the gym 6 times a week, that's 3 hours per week that I am in the car on the way to the gym or on the way home. That's time not with family, time not at home, time not working on my business. It just doesn't make sense. If you accumulate that over an entire year, that's over 150 hours just spent in the car going to the gym. It's well worth it to spend $200 and something. Build yourself one of these. Now you have a pull-up bar, a dip station. You can do so much with this setup here. It is well worth it if you have the land and space to build something like this. That way you can spend time doing what's actually important. You can spend time with your family, you can spend time working on your career, and you're not gonna be wasting time going to the gym and coming back home again. For me, as a husband and a father of a 6-month-old baby, it's important that I'm here. He's changing so much on a day-to-day basis that I want to cherish each and every moment that God blesses me with him and my wife. So something like this is a no-brainer. Some people may see it as, well, why would you build equipment at home if you could just go to the gym? But to me, it makes sense. And I hope that it makes sense for you as well. And if you're watching this video with no intention of building this pull-up bar dip station, I appreciate you sticking around. And since you made it this far in the video, I would like to encourage you to go down in the description below, get my free fitness guide, Centurion Strength. It's got everything that you could possibly need to make progress towards developing physical prowess and becoming the strongest in your bloodline. It's got exercise form tutorial videos, multiple different routines from beginner to advanced, from no equipment to all the equipment. It's got some scripture that I believe will encourage you. It goes in depth on nutrition so that you understand exactly what you need to eat. And I believe that that will be huge for you. It's got some things to help you fix lower back pain, knee pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, wrist pain, all of it. It's in that free guide, and I want to give that to you today. I pray that you found this video enjoyable. Some people just like watching the time lapse of me building things, and that's cool. I really appreciate y'all sticking around. Please show your support to this channel by leaving a like, dropping a comment down below, and subscribing for more. My name is David Shear. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. God bless you.